So what else is there to disclose? Mm, Try to make some money or something, some way or another. Not much, really close quarters. You know what I mean? It's not no 700 square feet. You know that's for sure. And storage, you got the stuff, the sentimental values that I needed to get. Took a lot of losses and stuff. But with some cats and stuff, which I thought was, so I don't really know. I mean, I'm in the present, right? So like, with being in the present, right? The whole thing of it, or whatever. Being in the present, like, you don't want to dwell on the past. You don't want to look too far into the future, but you don't want to shortchange yourself either. You know what I mean? You don't want to be too far into the present where you get lost, and then you lowball yourself or something like that. Um, I don't want to do that. And it feels like I've been shortchanged a little bit. I got coerced into doing making certain financial decisions, stuff that cost me like this whole month. And but maybe it's just like one of those patient game, waiting things, patient things that you have to do. Like, but it's really hard. As you get older, your body's like, I can't wait. This stuff can't wait. Like, pancreas or something shriveling up or something like that, or like your liver or your nerves kind of shot. These are things that can't wait, and you can't even find time to go. You know, you still, you still can't find time to do things like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So sit up here and then it's close quarters and it's like, oh yeah. And I can sit up here and try to extrapolate in reverse order, like why some such and such happened and the cause and effect and stuff like that. That's really not my place, I mean, that's not like really, that's kind of outside of my scope to be like to get into those kind of details and be like, oh, dig yourself in a rabbit hole and like to talk about stuff that you don't know what you're talking about. And again, I have yet to see a reward, and like I said, with all the setbacks in April, I've seen no reward of some sort, a little reward, and I just don't think that with the similarities of what I put out into society, or what I put out into the society, really have matched what the returns I'm supposed to get back, or what I feel I'm supposed to get back. So like so that leaves me kind of like, well, this is kind of wasted. I want to do this and stuff like that. Oh, well, you're just gonna get mocked and you're insulted about this and such and such. I'm like, yeah, well then, what was the point of doing all that shit for? I mean, what was the point of doing it for? Yeah, express yourself and stuff like that, yeah, and stuff. But driving is better, it's more form of expression. Like, if you like to drive, and then I can't drive right now. I'm like, oh, I just do this because like nothing else to do. And like, just don't get overboard with it. And take care of your dog. So people are like, oh, so yeah, I might be like, people are like, oh, it's impossible to take care of $100 and $100 in that capacity and stuff like that. Well, I'm doing it. I mean, and I haven't gotten a reward for it either. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying, like, when I got back to Snapple, I had to give her up, and I got to give up Kane for a little while. I gave him up. There was any question about me going, trying to get him back. With the process, I was going to get him back because I wasn't going to let them go into a situation where, this whole thing. I don't know what that is. I don't know, something walking around or whatever. But whatever. I don't live here anyway, so it's like, thy neighbor, what neighbor is that? I mean, I'm just kind of stuck here right now. So think about it. And we're stuck in here, people make us vulnerable. Like, all the stuff we've been through for the past 3 or 4 months, I'd say, like, with the filter now that someone may be out there, like, listening in on us, whatever. All the stuff we've been through has been just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Yeah, it's demoralizing. It's taking a toll on us, on our spirits and stuff like that. But I just is not a reflection of me. That's a reflection of like what the government likes and stuff like that, or what the population in general, what's come to what is supposed to be expected in the standard that's way below. I'm not saying here in general. I'm saying like, hey, this is way better. Like as far as one compared to, in contrast, if you go to the apartment, this is way better. I mean, like it's like, somebody like sitting on you all the damn time, sitting in on you, calling you on. It wasn't a good match. It wasn't a good match. You try to make it work, and it just wasn't a good match. So, I mean, my eyebrows, I'm wondering if my eyebrows are like disappearing. I'm like, fucking, what do you call it? And sometimes you just, you sit up there and you're like, oh, you know what? You have a good oratory skill. I'm like, I don't know about that. I had 2 views. How am I supposed to know about that? I have more views, more views supposedly on what do you call it, the photos and stuff like that, and reviews and stuff like that, and these oratory things. In junior college, I wasn't even that good at oratory. I barely could read, and like it was always like a nervous wreck about that. And like you're like, oh, you know what, your life is on camera and stuff like that. Will legal Zoom or not? I'm like, well, I mean, I went to New York and was like, well, what's so big about New York? What's the deal? Like, what is the big surprise or something? Like, you see yourself and you see orange on the jumbotron, and you're like, that's it. I mean, that's basically what happened. And then, like, yeah, and then, like you get on the subway and you're like, oh, really? These games without frontiers, everybody like talks about you, but you don't gossip with anybody. You have to, play with the fire sticks or something, the sticks that are burning leaves on a barbecue grills, and they say, "Oh, why you donate this?" I didn't donate anything. I got 2 of them, because they one of them showed up late. I mean, they didn't get it the late I need it, and it turns out it's not really good to use, except for cooking and stuff. So and so that's it. You sit up here and do this shit and be like, oh, you know what? This is going on 7 minutes now. This is going on 12 minutes. And this is going on 14 minutes. And why don't you cut it short? Why don't you just fucking, send a check or something? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you someone do this or something like that? So yeah, immediate return in this. Other than that, like, it's kind of just dumb. It's really, to be honest with you, if I'll disclose it, I'm like, dude, I don't really see this kind of life. Like, this is like, not even like, what do you call it? What living comfortable, a leisure life, and disability / retirement or something like that. Oh, you're not retired, and just jump all over you about everything. Anything you say, you can't, what we use against you. Sit up here, shit, threw someone here, but there's right about it, and take meds and stuff like that. I wouldn't be here, well, I would, but I wouldn't be here. I don't know what I do since December or something like that. Oh, well, why don't you, what is it that you know? What is it that you contribute to society other than, feeding your family, paying your taxes, going on a 15-minute break, eating your cheese sandwich, and stuff like that, going back, putting up the Christmas lights, and stuff like that. Say, oh, we have effective population control or something. Well, how is that? Because I only have such kids and stuff or other. No, some. Oh yeah, you know what I did? Actually, so, um, really, you just like, you just, a little bit. The one, I guess, eat, live to eat. I just live to eat. There's nothing else to do. I'm just bored, eat, comfort food. But you don't even have that, and they're like, damn, he's stripping everything, and you're having no sovereignty at the point out, Republicans are pointing out there's no sovereignty and stuff like that. I'm like, I usually have a point there, and just kind of have a point. I used to make coffee and, like, walk around, all day long. You know what I mean? And like, uh, now it's like you're stuck in a chair, like sit here for 8 to 12 hours until you think about what you did. Like, I thought about it. I was complaining about it too. You get the same. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Something like that. And so people are like, oh, you know what? You're just gonna like bitter off the whole thing. Everybody handles the situation differently. You know what I mean? Everybody handles the situation differently. I handle the situation differently, so I'm not gonna sit up there and go off of what I would do if I was somebody else, right? So you know what I mean? So I do that. So I gotta play this and now I take care of dog priority. Take care of this. I mean, have a VOA, that gets around and can shelters us, and that's about it. And the most basic thing in life, that is the most basic as that sounds about life. To me, it really is nothing to be thrilled about. It's just kind of like, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? I wish I could order round ale or something like that. You know, if that's the case, you know. I mean, at least make it like somewhat like appeasable. You know what I mean? Appease my gripes about it. You know, I'm totally not complaining though, because you know, it's a stark contrast from where I come from and stuff. Now I might look a little different and stuff like that or something like that, but you know, it's my mindset's a little more open to like positivity and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And not so much like I'm playing about this, playing about that. Once that red flag starts popping up, I'm like, that's kind of dumb. I'm not trying to hear all that. At the same time, I'm like, whoa, what's your problem? I mean, it seems to be a problem. You know, in a country, you come to areas to find asylum, or an area that's trying to like constrain you or something like that, or something rather, or like do both, constrain you and let you go at the same time. Like, oh, you know what I mean? And they can't figure out what it is you want to do. I'm like, well, you know what? Same as with some ideas, I'm beyond the point where it's like, you're like, well, use it just for, you know, such and such. Talking about, you know, chicken, fried chicken. I'm like, here, hook it up. Here, check it out. Here, I'm cool with thy neighbor type deal. What are you gonna turn around and do? Held what I said again. Held what I stated that if you pay rent, you won't get evicted. It took those exact words beyond what do you call it, Patriot Act or whatever, spying terrorism act, and used it against me to block out me paying rent so you can kick me out that way. That's what you all did there. And then had the nerve to call me after, months later, and say we want our back rent when you denied me to pay rent in the first place for 6 months or something like that. That resolved. So I don't know what it is. The United States lets in, and the people that try to prove that the United States lets in, it's like, yeah, we give you free reign to do all this stuff. You know what I mean? And then says it says there, hey, you know what? That's what you're not supposed to go in that direction. You let all this shit in, and then you give free reign, and then you say, oh, you weren't supposed to get into that little loophole thing or that little trap thing. So like, you mad? You know, like, I'm gonna show it, but yeah, of course I'm mad. I mean, it might show a little bit, tougher skin and stuff like that. We're gonna sit up here another night. We have water, barely enough now, moon. I'm in honor. She put us through fucking before even we got to this point. Since we've been getting down out here. Everyone, you were laughing. I'll never leave my mom's soupy rice dish. Well, check it out. I'm getting me a little pan, skillet, or something like that. Yeah, my generator hooked up that you all are now trying to buy because I bought one. And like, I'm gonna be hooking up my own food, you know, feed my own dogs about that. That. Or you don't have to go run the mommy all the time and be like, oh, you know, my 7 o'clock dinner, mommy, and stuff like that. I'm not clowning anybody, you know what I'm saying, on that level, but if you guys have a lot of meat, then, you know, you can take your own medicine then.